America, we got to get back to doing what's expected of us as free citizens in this democracy. That means being tolerant, being respectful, staying informed, and being engaged. I'm former Congressman Joe Walsh. Follow me here and join the millions of Americans who are renewing their social contract with each other. The social contract, it's on us. Hey, Democrats need to learn from Trump. I said it. Words that are not necessarily easy to say, but Democrats need to learn from Donald Trump. You know how I feel about Trump, right? You know exactly how I feel about Donald Trump. You know I believe in my bones he's an existential threat to our democracy. You know in my bones I believe he's everything our founding fathers feared. You know that I believe that Trump pretty much lies every time he opens his mouth. But here's the thing, and this is what Democrats are missing. Trump's all about the marketing. Trump's all about putting his face out there. Trump's all about dominating the daily news cycle, the hourly news cycle. Trump's always been about Trump. Trump's always been about marketing Trump. And Democrats still have not picked that up. Democrats still have not understood that. There's a graphic that was floating around yesterday that Trump and MAGA, it's been all over Fox News. Put that up there for me, Keith, showing the difference. There it is. MAGA, keep that up for a little bit, Keith. MAGA and Fox News have been, spreading this graphic all over the place yesterday and last night. First month, in the first month of Joe Biden's presidency compared to the first month of Donald Trump's presidency, looky there. Donald Trump has taken 1,009 questions from the media in the first month. You compare that with Biden's first month back in 2021, Joe Biden only took 141 questions from the media. Right there, right? Straight side by side first month comparison. 10 times as many questions Trump is taking, right? Every day, Donald Trump is out there taking questions. Every day, Trump is sitting behind his desk in the Oval Office, inviting the media and taking questions. Joe Biden never did shit like that. Joe Biden hardly ever took questions. And I'll bet you, keep that up, Keith. I guarantee you that if you spread that out, if we compare these numbers over the first 2 months, the first 3 months, the first 2 years, side by side of Biden and Trump, these numbers, the ratio will hold. Donald Trump is going to put himself out there every day and take questions every day in front of the media, every day. And Joe Biden didn't. And of course, MAGA and Fox News, all of Trump's cheerleaders point to that difference, say transparency. See, this is finally, right? We have a government that's transparent. Finally, we have a president who puts himself out there. Democrats, listen to me. I understand the irony in what Trump and MAGA and Fox News say. It's really easy for Donald Trump to put himself out there every day and take questions from the media when Trump lies all the time. again, just start there. It's really easy, and it's not very transparent to answer a lot of questions from the media when you're always lying. And every time Trump puts himself out there, and whenever Trump answers all of these questions, undoubtedly, every single day, when you go back and look at what Trump said, Trump is basically lying all the time. I mean, it's really easy to do what Trump does when you don't care about telling the truth. I think that needs to be said. When you don't give a damn about the truth, hell, take questions from anybody. Like I was watching Trump yesterday answer questions. And I thought to myself, how easy this must be when you're utterly untethered to truth. Like when you can say anything, when you can just troll people, when you can just put disinformation out there, when you can just lie. So Democrats, listen to what I'm saying. I get it. It's easy to do what Trump does. Take 30, 40 questions a day. If all you're going to do is lie and spin and fudge and just put bullshit out there. And that is the very antithesis of transparency. I get that. And Trump, right, like all good authoritarians, is shaping who he answers questions from. And he's getting rid of media outlets who don't like him, right? Donald Trump every day seemingly, kicking the AP out and kicking the Huffington Post out, determining who's going to be in the press pool, who's going to be on Air Force One when Trump goes and flies back down to Mar-a-Lago. Trump is going to surround himself with friendly media. I get all of that. And Trump lies all the time. I get all of that. But Democrats, here's what you need to learn. It kind of goes like this. Yeah, Trump lies all the time when he's in front of the media. But Democrats, you have a history of avoiding the media. I mean, look at your last president. Again, Trump lies all the time. But really, where the fuck was Joe Biden for 4 years? I can sit here and say that Donald Trump lies all the time, but I can also sit here and say one of the biggest reasons that Donald Trump got reelected was because Joe Biden really was nowhere to be found. Joe Biden didn't put himself out there. And when Joe Biden put himself out there, Joe Biden put himself out there in front of carefully choreographed and orchestrated press conferences with a list of the 10 to 12 media outlets he was going to take questions from. You never found Biden. Again, listen to what I'm saying, Democrats. You never found Biden in a free-for-all give and take on some podcaster's show, getting in front of media outlets who agreed or didn't agree with him. And then when Biden handed it off to Kamala Harris, the nomination, I think I said I thought Kamala Harris ran generally a wonderful campaign. My biggest criticism of Kamala Harris is that they protected Kamala Harris and they didn't put her out there in front of everybody. Democrats are still living in this, according to these old politician rules, where you've got to be careful what you say. You've got to watch what you say. You got to limit how much access the American people have to you. Bullshit. You got to throw that away. One of the reasons Kamala Harris lost is because she didn't put herself out there as much as Trump. And again, Democrats, I'm not asking you to be like Trump. in that I am asking you to lie like Trump. Trump puts himself in the campaign. He put himself in front of anybody. Remember, it doesn't matter to Trump because Trump's just going to lie and spew bullshit. So Trump will sit with Joe Rogan for 2 to 3 hours. Doesn't matter because Trump's just going to lie and spew bullshit. But there's Trump in front of anybody. There's Trump in front of this sportscaster. There's Trump. There's Trump on Super Bowl Sunday doing the interview, putting himself everywhere on Super Bowl Sunday. Where was Joe Biden on Super Bowl Sunday? Nowhere to be found. Democrats, learn from this. This is not your mama and your dada's media landscape anymore. This is not the media landscape where we've got ABC and NBC and CBS and the Washington Post and the New York Times. Those times are fucking dead, right? Because of this, because of the internet, because of podcasters. Everybody and their mother has a podcast. Everybody and their mother now is a media outlet. And you know what, Democrats? You've been slow to this dance. You got to get in front of everybody and their mother and speak truth and speak to the American people. Democrats, nobody under the age of 40 watches cable news. Democrats, nobody under the age of 40 goes to MSNBC or CNN to get informed anymore. Those days are done. Sure, a bunch of old people still go to Fox News. Those days are done. Most Americans go elsewhere to get informed. Democrats, you got to be elsewhere. Republicans have learned this. Trump took advantage of this during the campaign, and he's doing it now. Just getting in front of anybody. And again, broken record, it's really easy to do that if you're Trump, if you don't give a flying fuck what you say. And Trump doesn't. If you, like, all people have kind of a radar right in their head. They want to generally speak the truth. Most politicians always want to be careful and try to speak, right, the truth, or at least somehow tied to the truth. They all got that in them, which is why all politicians, when asked a question, right, you've got to think first, what am I going to say? How am I going to say it? Because you kind of don't want to be caught in a lie. Trump doesn't have that. Trump doesn't have that in his head. Trump doesn't have that radar. Donald Trump, his whole life, he just lies. Democrats, I'm not asking you to be that way. But I'm asking you to get with the modern program here. And you can't show me that graphic again one more time, Keith, the Biden-Trump comparison. You can't be like this anymore. The days of being a president of the United States, Democrats, and you avoid the media, you avoid podcasts, you avoid the internet, you avoid town halls, you avoid taking questions from the American people. Those days are gone. You cannot win like this. You cannot. Not everybody agrees with me when I say that Donald Trump lies all the time. Most Americans know he lies. But Democrats, you've got to get with the program. Thanks, Keith. And this is, you're in a race right now to grab people's attention. You've got one guy out there, Make America Great, just simplifying everything. But he's out there saying stuff. And we still have Democrats cautiously playing by the old rules. I said last night on a podcast, I believe our country's house is burning down right now because of Trump. I believe Trump and Musk are arsonists. I believe they're destroying our democracy, the rule of law, the Constitution, and all the rest. To defeat them, Democrats, you've got to get out there. You've got to put yourself out there everywhere. Democrats are afraid to take questions. Biden was a unique problem, right? Because Biden was too fucking old and Biden couldn't communicate. That wasn't Kamala Harris's problem. When Kamala Harris got the nomination, if I could have whispered one thing in Kamala Harris's ear on day one, right when she got the nomination, it would have been, man, be the opposite of Biden, Kamala. Put yourself out there everywhere. Go on Joe Rogan. Get with Sean Hannity. Get with Tucker Carlson. Everybody. Give and take, man. Put yourself out there. That's what the American people want to see. And it's where the American people are. The American people are not on MSNBC. The American people don't tune in to ABC News every weekday night anymore to find out what the fuck is going on. Democrats, you got to go where the American people are, and you got to go there and give them the truth. You got to go there, and you got to go there and give them the truth, and you got to go there and defend democracy and the rule of law. You got to put yourself out there. The thing I'm most proud of as a congressman a long, long time ago was I held more open to the public town halls in 2 years than any other member of Congress, something like 332. Damn near every day, every other day, I held a town hall open to the public, and I would let anybody sit in front of me, friend or foe, somebody who voted for me or didn't vote for me, and I let them ask me questions. Nothing was filtered, nothing was screened, and everything was filmed. I put myself out there on video answering questions from anybody and everybody. I think that's what the American people want to see. And Democrats, it's part of Trump's magic. Trump gives the perception that he's out there in front of everybody. Yeah, his supporters are messed up when his supporters say, Trump tells it like it is. Trump's transparent. Bullshit. Trump lies. But he's out there. The American people in 2028 are going to want to elect a president again who's out there, who's there where they are, not a president who's in their grill every day, but not what Joe Biden was, a president who was nowhere to be found. I've said this a bunch, and then I'll close with this. One of the biggest reasons Donald Trump won again was because Joe Biden, for 4 years, was unable to communicate to the American people what he was doing. We had a president for 4 years who just didn't communicate. I mean, my God, that's 60, 70% of a president's job. Democrats learn from that. Rip off your sport coats, rip off your blazers, and sit down with anybody. Go where the American people go every day to get informed. It ain't ABC News anymore. It ain't the New York Times. By the way, Dan Bongino, Trump's number 2 guy at the FBI. Trump's number 2 pick at the FBI, Dan Bongino, on his podcast or whatever a little bit ago said
so this
following.
Is what they're doing.
This
is why Clarence Thomas has been speaking out about the national restraining orders. How a judge in New York can give a restraining order for a congressional district in Wyoming is ridiculous. Clarence Thomas has been warning about this forever. This A. Muse on Twitter is talking about this lawfare too. How this Obama-appointed judge threatened Trump and his team with arrest if they don't restore every dime of funding that have been paused or canceled. Folks, my recommendation is Donald Trump should ignore this. This judge is obviously not acting constitutionally at all. It should be ignored. Demand it resuming all, but you can't order the executive to spend. I mean, you've effectively usurped the power of the executive. Now, before I get to the next, I'm going to play you a video by Crazy Big Balls McGroin is here.
Stop. You can stop, Keith. You can stop. That's Trump's number 2 guy at the FBI telling Donald Trump to ignore court orders, to ignore the rule of law. I've not a day goes by where I don't need to scream about something. And I let this go by yesterday. But my God, Democrats, my God, America. That's Trump's pick to be the number 2 guy at the FBI telling Donald Trump to ignore the rule of law. Telling every American, fuck it, we're not a nation of laws. Telling Donald Trump, the President of the United States, to defy court orders, ignore the law. Again, the beauty, the absolute beauty of Donald Trump is he's forcing us in real time, real quickly, to decide what kind of country, what kind of people we want to be. Really clear, really straightforward. I didn't need Bongino to say this the other day to remind me that Donald Trump is forcing the American people to decide, do we want to be a nation of laws or not? Answer it, MAGA. Do we want to be a nation of laws or not? Real simple question. Trump is forcing us to answer that question. Is Donald Trump above the law? Do we want a president who will defy court orders? Yes or no? Trump's forcing us to answer that right now. It's the beauty of Trump. Like again, with any other politician, right? We don't have to, we can kind of look the other way. We don't have to address these fundamental American questions. Do we want to remain a democracy? Do we want to adhere to our Constitution? Is any man or woman above the law? The beauty of Trump
So this is what they're doing. This is why.
Thanks, Keith. The beauty of Trump is because he's so utterly lawless and he's so corrupt, he's not going to give us the opportunity to look the other way and think about the price of eggs. He's not going to give us the opportunity to look the other way and, I got to go pick up the kids from school. No, excuse me. Donald Trump's asking you right now, you got to choose. Do you want to be a nation of laws or not? That's fundamentally what this is. And honestly, I know how MAGA would answer that question. I don't know how the American people would answer that question. If we polled the American people right now, this is what Trump's asking us. Do you want the United States of America to remain a nation of laws or not? I don't know what those percentages would look like. I really don't. I know what I think I'd like them to look like. It's not just Dan Bongino. Trump's already defied some court orders. Donald Trump we have a Supreme Court that said Trump as president can kill somebody, can commit any crime he wants. I mean, we're already at that point. Donald Trump brags about how he's above the law. Donald Trump has said he would defy court orders. So he's going to force us to choose the rule of law or not, the Constitution or not. Congress has chosen not. Congress chose Trump and not the Constitution. The American people are going to have to choose. And I know, look, I get it. The American people are going to have to decide, can I think about the price of eggs and the price of other shit and still think about the rule of law and the Constitution? I had a great conversation last night with one of the smartest political people I know, Mike Madrid. If you're not following Mike Madrid, you should. If you're on Substack, he's at Madrid Mike. Follow him on Twitter, at Madrid Mike, one of the smartest political guys I know. And Mike believes, look, Democrats, how do we defeat Trump? Look, eggs are more expensive now. Trump owns the economy. Trump's not focused on the economy. Democrats need to succeed by talking about this real stuff that impacts real people. And I'm over here screaming, no, the rule of law as well should concern real people. Democracy, the preservation of our democracy should concern real people as well. I just still fundamentally believe Americans are capable of caring about the rule of law and the price of eggs. I just fundamentally believe the American people are capable of caring about the preservation of our democracy and the price of gas. Even working class people, middle class people, lower income people. I just feel the average American citizen can and should care about both. And so I again, Democrats, in my book, scream from the high heavens. We got a president right now who believes he's above the law. I think you need to speak to that. And I think you need to speak to the American economy right now. And look, yeah, eggs are super expensive. That's on Trump. No longer on Joe Biden. That's on Trump. Trump's tariffs. Make Trump own his tariffs. I get all of that. On and on and on. Do both. We have a guy in the White House who's going to make the economy worse. So tell that story, Dems. But we have a guy in the White House who believes he's a king, a tyrant, a dictator. Tell that story as well. Hey, and this isn't America First. Well, decide. Yeah, decide. It does America First mean we are no longer a nation of laws? In fact, shoot me an email if you want. My new email address, by the way, thesocialcontractwithjoewalsh@gmail.com. Hey, that's my new email address. thesocialcontractwithjoewalsh@gmail.com. All one word. Shoot me an email. Do you want to remain a nation of laws or not? Simple, straightforward question. One word, shoot me. Thanks, Keith. thesocialcontractwithjoewalsh@gmail.com. We're going to have to decide every day. Trump's putting something in front of us, some fundamental, basic American truth, and we can no longer avoid it. We have to answer it. Do you want to remain a democracy or not? Thanks for listening, everybody. Be brave. Be brave.
Thank you for listening. Remember to listen, share, and follow The Social Contract with Joe Walsh on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and everywhere great podcasts are found. And be sure to leave a 5-star review. This has been The Social Contract with